Good evening, Brian. It's Tuesday because it's really late. I was supposed to post this vlog over the weekend, but then the weekend just got really busy. And as you know, I was at y'all's house a lot of it, and it just ended up taking forever, and time sort of got away from me, and I didn't really have time over the weekend to post it, unfortunately. And I had meant to post it yesterday, either first thing in the morning before I left for work or after I got home from work, but again, time got away from me and I didn't get either of those done either. So it is Tuesday when I'm posting this, and I apologize for that lateness. However, I hope that you've had a great day and a good weekend. Yeah, so I've been thinking, Brian, lately about technology a lot. I know it's been sort of a topic of the vlog in the past about how sometimes technology can sort of be a time suck and can sort of be a way for you to waste time and not do things that you want to do. I know I've talked in the past about how I feel like sometimes I have been bad at managing my time and appropriately allocating my time to things like social media, especially. How I felt like sometimes I end up having these huge chunks of time where I just sit and surf Facebook or Twitter on my phone and don't really do anything productive during that time. And that while it's enjoyable while it happens, afterwards it's sort of a waste. So this is a topic that's not new to the vlog canon so far. However, I've been thinking more about it lately, and I think that a lot of it really also is just our use of technology and how we decide to use it and what we decide to use it for. And it seems like sometimes really the important factor is that we need to make sure that we have agency, or that we are actively, mindfully making a decision to use technology in the way that we do. For example, usually when I go grocery shopping, how it works is that we meal plan. Usually on Friday or Saturday, we figure out what recipes we want to have that week, and then on usually Saturday evening or Sunday morning before I go grocery shopping, I write out all the recipes and their associated ingredient lists, and then I combine that into one ingredient list that includes everything. That way there's not like 2 tablespoons of olive oil here in this recipe, but 3 tablespoons down here in this recipe, and another teaspoon over here. I rewrite all of it combined so that it's all just 5 1/3 tablespoons of olive oil for each ingredient. And then from that list, I check off what we do and don't have in the kitchen, in the pantry, and that leaves me with things that I need to still buy. And then I copy that list over into a small pocket-sized notebook, and that's what I bring with me to the store, and that's what I check off as I'm going through the store shopping. And while it is definitely a process that takes some time, and I'm aware of that, part of the reason that I like to do it is that I really like the process of writing. As you know, I'm kind of a pen dork, and I have the fountain pens and everything that I like to use, and so I like the process of writing things out. That's fun. But this past weekend, time, like I said, was really in short supply over the weekend, so I didn't have much time to do what I usually do. So instead, I decided, well, let me see if there's a way that I can do this using the technology and my smartphone, using all of the resources I have available to me to make this faster. So what I did was I looked at a lot of the blogs that we usually look at for recipe inspiration, and found, as I found recipes that looked interesting that I wanted to try, I would share them directly from Safari into a note. So in about 5 minutes or so, I had found 5 or 6 recipes that I wanted to make this week and put them all into one note. And then from there, I went to each of those recipes, copied the ingredient list from the webpage, and then pasted it into a note, into that same note, but lower down. And so in maybe another 5 or 10 minutes, not even, probably 5 minutes, I had a comprehensive list of all of the ingredients. And then it was a relatively simple process to figure out, okay, let me make sure all of it, find all of the olive oils and combine them. That was pretty fast, much faster than it would have been to write it out. It was very quick to do it on the computer. And then I just highlighted that list and pressed one button to make it a checklist where you have little dots that you can check off. Took my phone into the kitchen, went to the pantry. In less than 5 minutes, I checked off all the ingredients that we usually had. And then what remained on my phone was a checklist of all the ingredients we still needed. So in maybe 15 or 20 minutes tops, I did what I usually spend maybe an hour and a half on. And probably it really ended up being closer to like 10 or 15 minutes, not even 20 minutes. So I use this example, and I give you this long drawn out story, Brian, to sort of illustrate how when you really think about what technology does well and what advantages it has, and then figure out how that can make the things that you already do or things that you need to do better, technology can be a wonderful way for us to spend less time doing the things that we have to do, and gives us more disposable time that we can spend on doing the things that we find meaningful, like spending time with our loved ones, or doing more enriching activities like reading, or like cleaning around the apartment, or like playing my guitar. And so technology doesn't always have to be a thing that demands our time. I think that relevant to this whole conversation is the idea of a supply of leisure time or of productive time or of enjoyable time. I'm not really sure how to define that. Perhaps enriching time is a way to think about it. So what I've complained about in the past is that technology can sort of can suck up what otherwise could be enriching time for my life. Time that I could be spending doing enriching things like spending time with Lulu or hanging out with you or reading or doing other things that I want to do is instead taken up by mindlessly surfing Facebook. And so I lose enriching time. Whereas this example illustrates a way that technology can really be used to increase the amount of enriching time we have available to us. I could, instead of spending an hour and a half on a Sunday morning doing this task, I was able to spend 15 minutes doing the task. And that left me enough time that I could get over to Mom and Dad's house early on Saturday and watch a movie with you and play Minecraft with you. And so any time that I would have spent doing meal planning the other way would have been less time that I could have spent doing those really fun, enriching, meaningful things that I was able to do because of it. And so I think I'm learning and realizing, and it's really being drilled home or driven home to me, that technology is not necessarily bad or necessarily good. It's really about us making sure that we are not falling into a passive rut or passive cycle or passive habit in terms of how we use technology, but instead are really, really purposeful about when we use technology and what we use it for. And so I think that I can do better about avoiding mindless time on technology. I can do better about avoiding time surfing Facebook or time surfing Twitter. And then also, complementary to that, look at all the ways that technology can be, can give me a benefit and can increase the amount of free time or enriching time that I have available and use it as well for that. And so in that way, I can doubly increase the amount of time I have to do meaningful things, which has sort of been what this has been all about, is that by spending less time on the technology and more time on the technology that in ways that it'll save me time, I think that is a good way to use technology. So I don't know if any of these things are things that you've noticed or things that you've felt as well, Brian. I don't know if you have some ways that you have really figured out how to use technology to your advantage and to use it to minimize the amount of time or effort it takes to do tasks that previously were a big deal, like meal planning for me. Figuring out how to, using it in this case, gave me more free time. Or if there's things about technology where you feel like the amount of time that you're spending and the amount of value you're getting out of it are not the same, and ways that you need to cut down too. I don't know, but I would just love to hear your thoughts on all of this, and if you have similar thoughts or experiences, or if you have any other ways or tips that you think that we can use technology to our advantage to make our lives easier. I look forward to hearing it. Again, I'm sorry this vlog is late, but I look forward to seeing your vlog hopefully later today or tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing you soon as well. Have a good night, Brian.